Hello earthlings. Today I wanted to show you my favorite piece of gear from my spaceship behind me here, which is the Korg NTS2 Oscilloscope, and it helps me navigate through both space and music. So what is it? Well, as I said, it's an oscilloscope, and it shows you the waves of whatever audio input you give into it. So when I play some notes on my synthesizer, you can see I'm playing some simple sawtooths here. So let's begin with the inputs. On the top here you have two TRS inputs. Actually all of them are TRS. There's two true and there's two outputs. The power is USB-C here. There is only one downside with these, is that they're actually quite close to each other. So if you are using thick cables as I am, or thick plugs, then you will have some problems connecting multiple cables next to each other here. You can also run the device on battery power. So in the back here there's a little input for two batteries. And yeah, the setup right now here, the display is set up so it takes both the left and the right here from the first input. So when I pan both my oscillators on my synthesizer to the left, you can see only the left is getting an input here, and when I pan both of them to the right, or actually one is to the left and one is to the right now, you can see they're both getting a signal. And then when I pan both to the right, you can see only the right is getting input now, but as you can see it's tripping out quite badly, and that is because the trigger is set to the left input here, and as you can see there is quite a bit of noise going on. So the right is actually triggering off the noise right now. And what I usually use this for is for my sound design. When I have two different in the beginning of the sound design, when I have two different waves, I set the panning of one of them to the left and the other one to the right, so I can observe them separately when I'm picking out the waves. So let me just show that quickly. So as you can see, both are sawtooths now, but when I change the shape of the second one, you can see it's square now. And if I set the panning of both of them to the middle, you can see that they are getting combined. So let's put one to the left and one to the right again. And now I will just go through some different waves here on because I have a digital synthesizer. So let's just go through some different waves. So you can directly see the wave changing here, which is quite handy in my opinion for sound design. So when I pick the one that I find nice, you can also switch through the position, and you can see that updating live here. So yeah, this is a function that I personally really like to use a lot. Let's just reset it. Yeah. So in the top here we already spoke about the trigger, which you can actually change to any of the other ones. You can also change the inputs here. So if I want to use, for example, the input on the left input on this one, and then the left input on the other one, you can change that here on the top while having display selected. If you go to vertical, you can change the input. So if you, for example, you have electric guitar with pickup, they're usually quite loud, so you will want to change the voltage here to around 5 probably. But for my own synthesizers, I keep it around 0.1. But yeah, this might differ depending on how you set your the volume of your devices. And if you can if you go lower, which you actually can, you can see that you are getting some noise. So you can see it's a really noisy wave right now. So I wouldn't recommend going below 0.1. You can already see there's a little bit of noise, but for me this works fine. You can also set the delay here if you want, and you can change the trigger to something manual if you like, but I find the auto works quite well for me. Then if you click display here, you can also set it to 4 inputs, but right now I only have the first one, so you will see the top 2 reacting. But if you had the other one, you would also get the other 2 if you press those buttons. Then there's the overlay, which puts all of them on the same length here. And then there's the XY, which allows you to draw using wave shapes. So let's just make one quickly here. So usually I put panning of 1 to left and 1 to right. And now let's change the shape. So I have a saw and a square together now. Then let's use some cutoff with some resonance. And now let's perhaps morph the shape of the square, and you can see the drawing is evolving, so you can actually do some pretty cool drawings. There's also some oscilloscopes, I think, which use 3D, so it's even cooler. But I don't really find this one useful, but it's a pretty cool thing to do to just look like what your sound might look like in a drawing. So let's just pick another sound here quick. So yeah, you can see it's quite mushy because I have reverb on that. Yeah, and so let's go back here to the separate. So now you can see it again with the other sound. So yeah, if you are using the oscilloscope, it's most useful when you don't have any delay or reverb on it. So right now I have a little bit of delay and reverb. And now let me turn off the delay and the reverb, and suddenly you can see it's a lot clearer signal. So yeah, if you want to get into sound design with an oscilloscope, you usually don't want to use any reverb or delay until you are done shaping your sound. Of course you can listen in between by turning it on, but yeah, it makes the whole signal very mushy. Then the second option here is that I want to show is the FFT. Let's just go to the initial sawtooth. So as you can see in the top, you still have the waveform here, and then in the bottom you can see the frequency of the sound. So this is the other option that I personally use a lot. So for example, if I turn my low pass filter lower now, you can see the higher frequencies falling off, and let's add some resonance so you can see the spike now. So yeah, that's quite cool to see, and also very useful when you're shaping your sound, in my opinion. You can of course change it here to any of the other inputs, but right now I have it set on the left. You can also change the horizontal here, so you can set the position. So right now the middle is set here at the 1K, but you can change that if you want. You can change the divisions, but what is most useful here is to change the range. So right now I have to set the range from 0 to 2K here. And as you can see, unfortunately there's always a spike below 100 Hertz. Even when you don't have any input, output or USB power, so it's just getting powered on the battery, there will still always be noise, unfortunately. So if you really want to get to sound shaping in the lower frequencies, you might want to look at a different oscilloscope here. But yeah, getting back to the range, you can set it to a minimum of 0 to 1K here. And you can change that all the way up to 20K. Let's open the cutoff again. So yeah, you can see it's going into like 14K or something here. Yeah, so that's the FFT. Then you have the tuner, and for my digital synthesizer I don't really use it all that much. Oh, by the way, in the bottom here you also have the wave shapes again, but if you want you can turn that off. So yeah, when I press C3, you can see right here it's C3, C2, C4, etc, etc. So yeah, for digital synthesizer maybe not that useful, but if you want to tune your guitar or your analog synthesizer, it's a very nice tool to have. And you can also set in the top here the calibration to what you're tuning to. Then you have the global settings. So here in the top, the first one, you can change the trigger, which I spoke about earlier. So if you want to change it to trigger on the right or on the second input, then this is the place where you can change that. And then on the third button here, you can set the brightness of the screen. So right now I have it set to 70%, which is nice bright, but not too bright, because on higher brightness usually cameras have issues picking it up and they start glitching, so I like to keep that not at full. And if you want to save batteries, you can easily change it here, so you can see it's, yeah. So if you want to change, if you want to use it on batteries, you probably want to run it at like 30% or something. Then you have here the next two options are for auto turn off. So as you can see, when it's powered by USB, I've set it to infinite, so it will never turn off. And then when I'm running it on batteries, it will automatically turn off in 10 minutes. The batteries drain quite fast. As you can see, it's quite a good screen. It depends, of course, on how you set the brightness. For sound design, I would really recommend using it on a USB, or you're gonna eat up a lot of batteries. But if you just want to tune your guitar or your analog synthesizer, batteries is just fine. Or if you just want to, if you are in the wild and you record something and you want to check it, that's also fine. Just yeah, for quick checkups, it's fine. But yeah, I haven't really tried it in one run to see how long a battery will last, but it drains quite fast. I think it's like 1 hour or something. But again, that depends on the brightness you set here. And then you have some settings for the battery here again. I would not recommend changing those. And then some credits. Sorry. And then the last function here, which is the wave. So the wave sends to your outputs. You can use it as either oscillator with some simple wave shapes, or you can use it as a LFO or as an envelope. So the oscillator, right now I've set it to push, so when I push the start button here, you can hear it sending out a square right now, and you can change that to a sine, saw, another saw, and a triangle. And you can change the pitch range, but as you can see, it's a lot of turning, so maybe not the best for using as oscillator, except for one tone. Then you can also shape it here, and you can set the phase. So if you have a square, you could do some nice phase shifting here, but again, as you can see, it's not really... I don't know how long the button would survive doing that in the long run. Then you can set it here to push. There's one shot, but I think it's too fast right now to hear it. And there's continuous, so it will just keep on going forever. Then you have the LFO function, and right now it's gonna make sound because it's just a sine wave. So as you can hear, it's a sine wave, so it's kind of similar to the oscillator, except that on the right here you have some different options. So yeah, you can also just put it on push or continuous. As LFO, you probably want to have it on continuous. And you have some nice shapes here again. You can change the frequency, and you can change the direction, which is unique to the LFO. So you can set it, right now it's in the middle. You can also set it only positive or only negative. Then you have two types of noise here. So you have the white noise and you have the pink noise. So these might be useful if you are using a pedal board or some FX in your modular synthesizer setup. So you can run them through some effects for some interesting sounds. You have a pulse which ticks at the BPM. It's very low, but you can hear it. You can change some settings. You can increase the BPM. And you can change the pulse here. And then there's the envelope. That's the final one, I think. Yeah. You can the envelope you probably want to set in one-shot mode, so it only triggers once. Then you have the linear and you have exponential, and the time which it. So let's change the shape here. So as you can see, shape changing. And this also changes the shape. And then you have exponential. As you can see, the rise is different now, which is exponential. So yeah, that's the Korg NTS2. I hope this helped you out, and see you the next time in space.